Greetings, dear precious, beautiful spirit soul that you are. Remember this. Breathe into your heart, in through your nose, into your heart. Exhale through your mouth. When you bring the oxygen right here, it takes it out of your mind and brings it right here, and you empower yourself, you see, right now. Now, my topic is there's only one power, you see. There's only one power. And we are taught, we've been taught there's all these powers. There's these people have these powers, and those people have those powers. Usually their powers are guns, bombs, cruelty, torture, all of these, and give all good reasons for it. Well, we got to test on these animals over here. Or we got to test on these people. We got to have to do this. This is, I got my paper. Got my paper back. Anyway. It's all of this stuff to justify torture and pain that living entities go through because of being in these physical bodies. And the problem is, the number one problem is to have the belief that you are, who you are is this physical body. And it's just like if you're cutting your hair, it doesn't hurt, you see. Like yesterday I was cutting something on my toe or whatever. And it was just some skin or something came off. It didn't hurt, right? Because I'm not connected to that anymore. So the pain then comes real that people are suffering and going through, and animals and such. And so what kind of a God would create something where everybody's suffering in it, and they're dying, and they're getting sick? And what kind of an insane creator is that? So when you want to start to look to see the truth, you have to see that we've been programmed to believe that there's a power against us. There's the Antichrist and there's a Christ. There's the bad guy and the good guy. There's bad cop, good cop, you see. We've got, there's the light of the God, God of the light, and there's a God of the dark, and there's duality always doing that. And so that belief itself, you see, makes that as if it's true and real. So therefore, people then, I know people believe and really take that in, that God is torturing them, suffering them, will send them to hell, or is going to give them a real reward and you'll go to heaven because this God is pleased with you. And you take a look at what is that. And there is no afterlife because you are continual life. You don't die, you weren't born, it's who you are, you're eternal. And when you realize that, and that some way we've been agreeing to this kind of creation that is based on the conflict of good and evil, as if there's a good God and a bad God. There's an Antichrist and a Christ. Well, that's the way everything here is. There's a positive and a negative for everything and everything. So when you transcend this, and you as a spiritual healer, you see, and as the essence of spiritual healing, there is only one power. So you're not praying to God to do anything for you. You're just getting out of the way, you see. And when you do get out of the way, and you have to agree to that. So say if I'm working with a person and they tell me their problem, I don't accept or agree with the problem, not at all. I'm not one that goes, oh, poor thing, I'm so terrible, I'm so sorry that it happened, and go through your anger and get stressed for years. Like, some people, that's all they do. They go sit, because they want to be the center of attention all the time, so they're always having, they'll pay anything just to have somebody listen to their story over and over, and they're living in a box of mirrors reflecting their stories from time immemorial, as if to build the reality that they exist. You see, you are existence. So you have to overcome that belief system that says somebody and something's working against you. Well, God doesn't want me to do. No, what you do and what you give out is going to get the results you get. It's not the law of attraction or repulsion. You could say that in this realm because there's magnetics in that sense, but it's your consciousness that manifests that. It's your awareness that manifests it. It's your belief system that manifests it. It's what you're doing that's putting out that you're actually getting, you see, because that's how it works. And so when we get that false out of the way, we get the beliefs out of the way of the inevitability of problems, the inevitability of disease, the inevitability of death and all of that. And then he said, well, yeah, but you know, your body's changing and it's changing. Well, yeah, because my body's made from the elements here, but this isn't me. This isn't my spiritual body. My spiritual body is here, is activating, expressing, but you can't see it because your eyes don't have eyes to perceive at that level, because our physical senses are tuned to this level. So all we can perceive is that which is of that same frequency or vibration. And yet, who we are is greater than the sum of all the parts that we're part of. That the divine is fully active, fully alive, and when you realize that, then that's when miracles happen. And that real essence of that spiritual healing, because you wouldn't want to go to someone. I mean, years ago when my leg, this leg was bit by a brown recluse spider. It was huge. It's flesh eating and all of this stuff. And it was huge. And yeah, so I finally made it I went to an emergency, and they told me, well, you know, we're going to have to amputate your leg pretty soon, and you could be dead in 2 weeks, and you better check in here right now. I left because I don't like your prognostication and your system. And I went home, and, you know, people were freaked, but that's the way it is. I did my own thing. If you want to know, I'll let you know. But I did my own thing, and I was well in 7 days, you see, because I don't accept the verdict. I don't accept that. But I went to find out what it was, and then I realized, I don't want that choice. I have my own choices. And when you then start owning your choices, and because it's your reality, it's going to manifest, you see. So that doesn't mean that you can, what would you say, intentionally harm or hurt animals and people, and that's going to be just fine because that's your truth, because it's your custom or what you think. No, it doesn't operate that way, because now you're operating as an evil entity to some other living entity. You're causing pain and suffering to them. But our partner, our source, is not an evil creator, you see. And each of us is a creator being ourselves. So when we're dealing with that whole, what would you say, idea that there is a power greater than we are that is actually evil and working against us and trying to hurt or kill us in any way, that's not true. There is no power for evil. It's taking its power from the good, the absolute goodness that you are. We're giving it power because we're agreeing with it. We're doing what it says, you see, and living in fear of it and what could happen to us when we're eternal beings, you see. So the work that you do to know who you are is the greatest investment there is, because then you're always a practitioner of spiritual healing, because you know the truth. There is only one power, and that is absolute love, and that's who you are.